I believe our country has a bright economic future. We've been through tough times and now must prepare to take advantage of future opportunities. Look what we've come through together. The deepest recession for more than 60 years and the world's banking system on the brink of collapse. We didn't get through this by chance. It took a tremendous amount of hard work and sacrifice from people across the country. And in government, it took tough decisions and difficult choices. We intervened to rescue the banks and to safeguard jobs. We cut taxes. And like every country around the world, we allowed borrowing to rise rather than let businesses go to the wall or people lose their homes. All our efforts stopped the recession turning into a depression. This has, of course, come at a cost of higher borrowing, but the cost of doing nothing would have been far greater, and that was not a cost I was prepared for the country to pay. The economy is beginning to recover, but a strong, lasting recovery depends on continued government support. In the budget, I took steps to provide support for jobs, businesses, families and the economy. Again, I did have a choice. I could have withdrawn help and left people to fend for themselves, but I rejected that option. Instead, I've extended measures to help people stay in their homes when they've lost their jobs. And to help first-time buyers get a foot on the housing ladder, I've doubled their stamp duty threshold to £250,000. That means 9 out of 10 first-time buyers won't have to pay stamp duty. I've also phased in the planned increase in fuel duty to help businesses and families. There will be a below-inflation increase next month. Now, I know all parents worry about their children. So to make sure a child's first taste of life after school or college is not a prolonged spell on benefits, I've extended and improved help. There will be a guaranteed place to study for all 16 and 17-year-olds, a guaranteed job, work experience or training for all 18 to 24-year-olds, and 20,000 extra university places. A prosperous future for this country depends on a well-trained, highly skilled and educated workforce. There's more help too for pensioners with increased winter fuel payment guaranteed for another year. So every pensioner household will get at least £250 to help them keep warm. Now, government cannot and should not do it all, but only governments are able to step in and kickstart the economy when it's endured such a seismic shock. It's a choice, but a choice I believe we have to make. Our long-term future also depends on reducing borrowing and supporting the industries which will provide the jobs and prosperity of the future. We've set out plans to halve the deficit in 4 years, the clearest plan of any of the major economies. Because of the choices we've made, unemployment in the UK is lower than it might have been. Borrowing is lower than forecast, and the recession did not turn into a depression. So I will not be deflected from the course I've set. In past recessions, hundreds of thousands were consigned to the dole queue. Not only was it a waste of potential, but high unemployment inflicted long-term damage on whole communities, and I was determined that should not happen again. Fairness underpins my budget. We've raised tax from those with the broadest shoulders. Most of the tax receipts will come from the wealthiest 5%. We chose not to cut back on Sure Start children's centres or the Child Trust Fund, and instead of cutting child tax credits for families on modest incomes, we decided to improve them. And we shall pay for these measures to help business and families by switching money between projects and clamping down on those who don't pay their fair share of tax. Rebuilding public services and supporting employment was the right choice. I know we shall have to cut public spending as the economy improves, but I'll always protect hospitals, schools and the police. This budget is about our future. It's about growing the economy. It's about jobs. The futures of our children and our grandchildren depend on it.
That was a budget statement by the